What's up, everyone? Welcome to Ashley Talks Movies. So, the Oscars are just days away, and I thought it'd be the perfect time for me to share my Oscar predictions. Now, this award season has been chaotic. I think that's an understatement. There have been so many curveballs left and right, surprises, scandals. This award season I could best sum up as unpredictable. And because of how chaotic this award season has been, it made it pretty difficult for me to narrow down my predictions for the Oscars. I've seen all the other awards shows and seen how those have gone with different winners in different categories. And in many ways, there's been some frontrunners who've been sweeping in certain categories in every single awards. And then there are others where it's kind of split. It's just been kind of all over the place. So it's made it really hard to these predictions. But I did my best to narrow down my predictions of how I think the Oscars will go. Now, before I get into my predictions, do me a favor, like, comment, and subscribe. That way you don't miss any of the videos I post here on the channel. Now, a few weeks back, I did a reaction/discussion video on the Oscar nominations. And in that video, I basically focused on just a handful of categories. But for this video, I'm actually going to do predictions for every single category. So basically, this is how my predictions are going to work. Basically, for each category, I'm going to share which movie I think will win based on how I think the Academy voted. Also, I will share a runner-up, so to speak, for each category where there's a movie that could be a possible upset here, a possible surprise in that category. And also, there are a handful of categories that I have not seen the movies for, like Best Documentary Feature. I have not gotten around to watching those, and some of those are really hard to find. So for those categories, those are just wild cards. I'm just picking something. There's no scientific process with that. It's just me going, let's see what wins. All right, so let's get into the predictions. First category is going to be Best Animated Short Film, and the nominees are Beautiful Men, In the Shadow of the Cypress, Magic Candies, Wander to Wonder, and Yuck. Now, for this category, I think Yuck is going to win. This is the entry from France. I've actually seen all the movies in this category. And Yuck is pretty good. It's, this cute little movie about kids who are grossed out by kissing. If I had to pick a runner-up, I think maybe it would be Magic Candies. That one's also very good. But yeah, I think Yuck is going to win this one. Next up, we have live action short film. And the nominees are Aileen, Anuja, I'm Not a Robot, The Last Ranger, and The Man Who Could Not Remain Silent. I've not seen the movies in this category, so this one's a wild card. I'm basically just went down the ballot, put my finger on something, and I'm picking The Last Ranger. I don't know if that is a front runner or not. I don't know if that's what most people are predicting to win, but that's what I have to win. Next up, we have Best Documentary Short Film. The nominees are Death by Numbers, I Am Ready Warden, Incident, Instruments of a Beating Heart, and The Only Girl in the Orchestra. In this category, again, it's a wild card because I haven't seen the movies in this category, and I literally just went down the ballot, put my finger on one of the movies to make a selection. Again, not scientific at all, and I'm picking I Am Ready Warden. Next up, we have Visual Effects. Now, for this category, I actually think this is going to be one of the few categories that Dune Part 2 wins. And so I'm picking Dune Part 2 for this one. If there was going to be, another movie that could possibly win in this category, I think it might be Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. But I do think Dune Part 2 has the edge here, and I think it's going to win for visual effects. For film editing, the nominees are Anora, The Brutalist, Conclave, Emilia Perez, and Wicked. For this, I think Conclave is going to win. I have a feeling that this one is the one that the Academy voted for, and it's a strong contender. I think if there were a movie that could possibly win in this category besides Conclave, it would be The Brutalist. I think, again, these two movies, it's kind of close, I think. But I do think Conclave is going to edge out on this one. For production design, the nominees are The Brutalist, Conclave, Dune Part 2, Nosferatu, and Wicked. Now, for this category, I actually think this is going to go to Wicked. This will be probably one of the few categories that Wicked actually wins. I think it'll do pretty well in some of these more technical categories like production design. And so I have Wicked taking home the prize here. I think the Academy probably really likes this movie in this category, and so I'm going with Wicked. If I had to pick a movie that could possibly take this away from Wicked, I think it would be possibly Dune Part 2. Up next is cinematography. The nominees are The Brutalist, Dune Part 2, Emilia Perez, Maria, and Nosferatu. I have The Brutalist winning this one. I just think that's the way it's gonna go. Maybe a possible upset could be Maria. I know that's a surprise probably for a lot of you, but I could see Maria possibly winning in that category. And if it did, that would be, I think, a huge surprise, because I don't think people have Maria really on their radar, because it kind of just fizzled out this award season. Next up is costume design. The nominees are A Complete Unknown, Conclave, Gladiator 2, Nosferatu, and Wicked. For this one, I have Wicked winning as well. Again, I think it's going to do well in these sort of technical categories with production design and costume design, so I have it winning costume design. I could see Nosferatu maybe taking home this award, but I still think it's going to go to Wicked. Up next, we have makeup and hairstyling. So the nominees are A Different Man, Emilia Perez, Nosferatu, Substance, and Wicked. I have The Substance winning this one. I think Wicked is a potential, movie here that could take home the award in this category, but I really do think it's going to go to The Substance. Also, if I'm sharing my own personal opinion, I think, The Substance winning here is deserved. Wicked, I think, had great makeup and hairstyling, but The Substance, I think, deserves some recognition for what it did. Up next is sound. Nominees are A Complete Unknown, Dune Part 2, Emilia Perez, Wicked, and The Wild Robot. For this one, I literally have it between two movies, and it was hard for me to narrow down between these two, because I think it could go either way. I have Dune Part 2 and Wicked. If I think there's one that is going to win, will win, I think it might be Dune Part 2. I also think a possible surprise here could be A Complete Unknown. So I think this is definitely a category to watch, because it could kind of go any way. All right, original song. The nominees are El Mal from Emilia Perez, The Journey from The 6888, Like a Bird from Sing Sing, Mi Camino from Emilia Perez, and Never Too Late from Elton John, Never Too Late. I have El Mal from Emilia Perez winning this one. Personally, I would not pick this one. If I was voting in the Academy, I would not pick this. I watched Emilia Perez, was not a fan of that movie, and I didn't think the songs were particularly great either. I could see The Journey from The 6888 possibly winning this category, but yeah, I think it's gonna go to Emilia Perez. Original score. The nominees are The Brutalist, Conclave, Emilia Perez, Wicked, and The Wild Robot. I think it's The Brutalist. I really don't see any other movie taking this one. The Brutalist had an amazing score, and that's one of the things that everyone, whenever they talk about this movie, they've talked about is how brilliant and great the score is. And I do think that's the way that voters are going to go with this one. So I think it's The Brutalist. If there were to be a movie that could possibly win this category besides The Brutalist, I could maybe see Conclave taking this one as well. But I think The Brutalist will win. Up next, we have International Feature Film. Nominees are I'm Still Here, The Girl with the Needle, Emilia Perez, The Seed of the Sacred Fig, and Flow. I think the winner of this category is going to be I'm Still Here. I actually got around to seeing this movie a couple weeks ago. I thought it was amazing. And I think a lot of Academy voters got a chance to see it before they, voting concluded. And I was seeing a lot of people talking about, this movie and how great it was. And so I think it could win it. Also, I think Emilia Perez has fizzled out. I think it's only going to win in a couple of categories. I could be completely wrong, but I think it's only going to win a couple categories. I think I'm Still Here is going to get this one. Up next, we have documentary feature. This one I have not seen. I have not seen the movies in this category, so this is literally just sort of a wild card pick. The nominees are Black Box Diaries, No Other Land, Porcelain War, Soundtrack to a Coup d'etat, and Sugarcane. If I had to pick one, again, I'm just looking down the ballot, putting my finger on one of the movies, I'm going to pick Porcelain War. I only know a little bit about these movies. I know two of them are documentaries about Ukraine, which one of them is Porcelain War, the other one is No Other Land. Yeah, wildcard pick, Porcelain War. Up next is animated feature. Nominees are Flow, Inside Out 2, Memoir of a Snail, Wallace and Gromit, Vengeance Most Foul, and The Wild Robot. I think The Wild Robot's going to win this one. I really do. The Wild Robot has had very interesting trajectory this award season. I think, usually in these types of categories, Disney has dominated, but I don't see Inside Out 2 getting this one. I think it's going to be The Wild Robot. If there were to be a movie that would take it from The Wild Robot, I think it could be Flow. Flow has also gotten a lot of attention and buzz, and a lot of people within the industry have been talking about it. So I could see maybe that one doing it. But again, I have The Wild Robot as winning this category. Up next, we have Adapted Screenplay. The nominees are A Complete Unknown, Conclave, Amelia Perez, Nickel Boys, and Sing Sing. I think this one's going to go to Conclave. I really don't see, I'm not going to say it's a lock, but I really don't see any other movie taking this one at all. If there were a surprise, maybe possibly Nickel Boys, but I think it's going to go to Conclave. Up next is Original Screenplay. Nominees are Nora, The Brutalist, A Real Pain, September 5, and The Substance. Now this one was a little hard because for this particular category, in other awards, it's been split. Sometimes Anora has won, A Real Pain has won. I think Anora's going to win this one. I feel like Anora's going to do pretty well at the Oscars this year. I could be completely wrong, but I think it's going to be Anora. If there were to be a movie, I think that would take it other than Anora. I think it could be A Real Pain, just because A Real Pain has been winning in this category and a lot of the other awards. But I do think Anora's gonna come out on top. Next category is Actor in a Supporting Role. Nominees are Yura Borisov for Anora, Kieran Culkin for A Real Pain, Edward Norton for A Complete Unknown, Guy Pearce for The Brutalist, Jeremy Strong for The Apprentice. I think it's going to go to Kieran Culkin. I think it's a lock on this one just because he's been sweeping. I don't really see anyone else winning in this category. So, all right, up next is Actress in a Supporting Role. The nominees are Monica Barbaro for A Complete Unknown, Ariana Grande for Wicked, Felicity Jones for The Brutalist, Isabella Rossellini for Conclave, and Zoe Saldana for Amelia Perez. I think it's gonna go to Zoe Saldana. Kind of the same thing with Kieran Culkin. She's just been sweeping this category and all the other awards. And, despite the controversy with Amelia Perez, a lot of people within Hollywood seem to really like Zoe Saldana, and they like her performance in that movie. And I have to say, even though overall I didn't like Amelia Perez, Zoe Saldana was good in it. In fact, I think she's the best part of that movie. And she's doing a lot in that movie. She's singing, she's dancing, So, I could see the Academy going that direction. If there were to be someone else that would win in this category, I could possibly see Isabella Rossellini winning this for Conclave. Her part in Conclave wasn't particularly big, but she's Isabella Rossellini, and I could see the Academy maybe saying, let's just give it to Isabella Rossellini. I'm going to throw a third choice in here. I could see a possible surprise, a complete upset, and it going to Ariana Grande. I think this is going to be one to watch. I wouldn't say it's a complete lock. This is going to be an interesting category, I think. So up next, we have Actor in a Leading Role. Nominees are Adrien Brody for The Brutalist, Timothy Chalamet for A Complete Unknown, Coleman Domingo for Sing Sing, Ralph Fiennes for Conclave, and Sebastian Stan for The Apprentice. I really think Adrien Brody is going to win this one. He has the momentum. I think that's the way the Academy is going to go. I think if there's a possible upset here, I could see maybe Timothée Chalamet or Ralph Fiennes taking it. And I think Ralph Fiennes might also be a possible upset here just because he has been nominated many times, but he's actually never won, which surprises me because, I mean, Ralph Fiennes is such a great actor. And so the fact that he's never won an Oscar could be, one of those reasons where the Academy goes, let's give it to Ralph Fiennes. Now we go to Best Actress, and the nominees are Cynthia Erivo in Wicked, Carla Sofia Gascon and Emilia Perez, Mikey Madison and Honora Demi Moore in The Substance, and Fernanda Torres in I'm Still Here. I think it's going to be Demi Moore. I think, she has the momentum. The Academy loves those sort of Cinderella stories. This would definitely be a Cinderella story because, Demi Moore, beloved actress in the 80s and 90s, kind of went away for a while, acting, comes back, does this, great performance in The Substance. And I can see them leaning towards that. And she's been, leading in this category and so many of the other awards. So I could see her winning this one. If there's a potential upset, I could see it be Mikey Madison because she's also been doing well in this category and some of the other awards. And Honora, I think, has been doing well and is going to do well at the Oscars. So I could see Mikey Madison taking it. If there was a surprise, throw another name in here. If there was a surprise, I could see maybe Fernanda Torres taking this, which would be, a shock for a lot of people. But as someone who has seen I'm Still Here and was blown away by her performance, I'm actually surprised that she has not been leading in this category in some of the other awards. And I don't know if it's maybe because, some of these voters had not seen that movie by the time voting was done. But I think a lot of people have seen I'm Still Here, and a lot of them saw it before Oscar voting concluded. So that could be a surprise win there. Again, another category to really pay attention to. Next, we have director. Nominees are Sean Baker for Nora, Brady Corbet for The Brutalist, James Mangold for A Complete Unknown, Jacques Audiard for Emilia Perez, and Coralie Farge for The Substance. I think Sean Baker's going to win this one just because, again, I've been talking about how Nora, I think it's going to do pretty well at the Oscars, and I think it has that momentum. Sean Baker, not that this is a precursor for, what wins the Oscar, but Sean Baker did win the DGA, and so I can see him taking it. I think if there's one that would take it besides him, I think it could be Brady Corbet for The Brutalist, just because that movie has also been in, a lot of discussion here, but I think it's going to go to Sean Baker. And then finally, we have made it to Best Picture. Now, this is a category I really think is going to be the nail biter on Sunday night. So the nominees are Nora, The Brutalist, A Complete Unknown, Conclave, Dune Part 2, Emilia Perez, I'm Still Here, Nickel Boys, The Substance, and Wicked. This one was really hard for me to narrow down. This was really hard for me to predict because I think it's really down to 3 movies. I think it's down to Nora, Conclave, and The Brutalist. I think either one of these movies could win, and I would not be surprised if any one of these movies won. If I'm predicting how I think the Academy voted, how I think that's going to go, I think Honora's going to win. Because again, I have been saying I think Honora's going to do pretty well at the Oscars. It could, get completely shut out. I could be completely wrong. But I think Honora is going to win it. And again, I think it's down to 3 movies. So The Brutalist could win it, and Conclave could win it. And if either one of those movies won it, besides Honora, I would not be surprised. But I think this was going to be the nail biter because it's literally down to 3 movies. It could go any way. So yeah, but I'm picking Honora, but I'm also saying that I would not be surprised if Conclave or The Brutalist won here. So that concludes my Oscars predictions. Like I said, some of these categories were hard to narrow down my predictions for just because it's been a roller coaster award season. It really has, and a lot of this has been very unpredictable. And I don't know how it's going to go. These are just, again, how I think the Academy voted. So we'll have to wait and see. So let me know what you think about the Oscar predictions. Do you agree with some of my predictions? Do you disagree with my predictions? What are your predictions? Also, are you planning on watching the Oscars this Sunday? Let me know in the comments. While you're here, like this video, subscribe, and stick around for more videos like this.